Hi, welcome back to the podcast. This is Whitney. Today, we are going to be talking about the question of should you have a waitlist for new services and courses? Now, my answer is yes. I do think that it is always a good idea to have a waitlist for anything new that you're planning to develop so that you can kind of test the waters. We'll get into all of the reasons why I think you should set up waitlists and new services and for new services. Now, if you already have that product or service, then this isn't what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about setting up a waitlist just to create demand unless you are actually fully booked with a service that you already offer and you just have too many people right now, and so you want to put together a waitlist for that. That's totally fine. But what I'm really talking about is a spot for people to voice their interest in a new product or service that you are either thinking about offering or definitely planning to offer, but you don't have it ready yet, which is obviously going to happen. You're going to come up with the idea, maybe it's a new service, and maybe you are still working another job and you don't even have the capacity to offer that service right now, but you're building up to it and you want to get to that point where you're going to quit your job or reduce your hours so that you can offer this service to people. So this is a perfect time to have a wait list. Or maybe you have a new course that you want to launch, but you need time to actually put it all together, record the content, write it, pick out your software platform, all of those things. So this is a great time for people to be learning about your course before you have it ready yet. And really, this is an opportunity to soft launch a new offer and gauge that interest. Now, typically, you're probably going to already be wanting to offer whatever it is you're offering, and maybe you're not doing this so much as a beta test. And hey, if I don't get enough signups, then I'm not going to move forward. Maybe you're doing that. That's fine. But otherwise, you might just be having this there so that there is something for people to put their hand up and say, hey, this is something I'm interested in. But it can also give you like a little bit of a confidence boost when you are having people sign up for something that isn't even available yet. And then it kind of gives you that motivation to keep going. And I will say that this is not something where people are paying. So it's no commitment, at least the waitlist that I'm talking about. It's just something for people to give their email, say, hey, this is something I might be interested in the future, but there's no commitment for them to actually move forward with buying the product or service when it's available. You could do a pre-sale of your course, for example, but that's a different strategy and that needs a bit more like strategy and thought and how you approach it. So just to keep it simple, I am just going to be talking about setting up waitlists in this episode. So let's talk through why you would want to do a waitlist. I kind of alluded to some of this. So the first thing is that it is easier to create the service or the course than it is to sell it. Trust me, it is much harder to market and sell a product than it is to create that thing. And it may, I don't say this to discourage you. You should still do it. I created my program, the website system, the website course that I talk about. I actually did do a beta of that. I sold it to some people that was really just a small group of people that were on my email list. And I launched it at a workshop that I was a part of and had some early interest in it. And I hadn't even built the whole thing yet. And it really gave me some accountability to finish building it. And it was still a lot of work, but over the years, as I have continued to market and sell that product, I have, without a doubt, spent much more time marketing and selling that product than I ever spent building it. And it's a big program. There's a lot of modules and lessons. There's a lot that went into it. But I still will say that the marketing and selling was the greater time investment, energy investment, and monetary investment as well, because I do pay a marketing coach and I have designers and my developers help build out the sales pages, and I have other team members that help me with my launches and all of that. So there's still a lot of work that goes into it either way. But when you're getting started, you don't need to worry about all that. Just having a wait list is a great way to start and getting that buzz and all of that. But I just want you to be thinking about the marketing and selling of your course before you spend hours and hours and hours and months and months and months building it out without first getting some marketing and selling processes in place, because we really do want to be building buzz early. It takes time for people to know about your product and know about you and just reach new people. It's a challenge out there, organic marketing. So instead of paid ads and all of that, but doing organic marketing, word of mouth, those things take time. And so you can be using the months leading up to the launch of your service or program to be building that pool of people. And it really is this pool of interested people. It's really great to have a pool of people to already pull your first sales from, then starting completely from scratch, ground zero. You have no email list. You've never talked about the program or product before, and then you've spent months building it, and then you suddenly are going to email the 10 people that are on your email list and let them know about it. Guess what? Unfortunately, you're not going to get any sales that way, because people need time to think about things. They need to be hearing from you and learning about you. So just thinking that you're going to just open the doors and be flooded with sales without ever talking about it first or getting people kind of a little warmed up and interested, that's just not how it's going to go. And believe me, I'm speaking from experience. I thought as soon as I opened the doors to my program that everyone would jump in, and that's just not how it goes. And I already mentioned that this gives you some accountability to actually create the program. So if you are feeling a little like, oh man, yeah, I'm just going to keep pushing this off, and you're getting frustrated, put up a wait list. And once you start seeing some people put their hands up saying that they want this product, it's going to be some good motivation. I guarantee it. And this really does, having people sign up for your email list and say that they want to be on the wait list for whatever you're offering or planning to offer, it really does allow you to nurture people and warm them up before you launch, which is just so important. And it allows you to take some action and put something out there and make progress. So similar to what I was saying about that accountability, I think we can also feel really frustrated that we have this idea, but then, okay, well, I have to find the software, and I have to make the branding for it, and I have to create the outline, and I have to record the modules, and I have to make all these things. And it feels like a never-ending to-do list, and you can feel like there's no end in sight, and that you have to get all of these things done before you can ever even start talking about the product. And that can feel just like a huge hill to climb up. So instead of that, I think having a wait list is a great way for you to take that action and see some early progress and have something out there as kind of this like billboard of what it is you're offering as you keep working on all of the intricacies of it behind the scenes. I think also putting together a waitlist and putting together, whether it's a section on your homepage, and I'll talk about this later, or an entire page, a sales page on your website about it, allows you to organize your thoughts and the positioning of the product. Again, going back to the marketing and selling of your product is maybe more important than the product itself, because we need to ensure that we are talking about the product in a way that's interesting to people. We want that product to be great. I have no doubt that you're going to create a great product because you are a passionate provider and you want to help people. So I really have no doubt that you're going to put something out there that's great. So what you really need to shift your attention to, because this is going to be harder for you, is to position your product in a way that is actually going to be interesting to your ideal customers. And it may sound simple, but if you've heard me talk about this, or you've struggled with just writing the copy for your website in general, we may think and know that we have so much to offer people and we can help them solve their problems, but for some reason, the way we describe what we offer is just not sitting with people. It's not resonating. It's not getting them excited and feeling like, oh my gosh, this is the thing I need. I have been waiting for this. I need this thing. And that's really the kind of reaction that we need to be eliciting from our website and from our sales materials and messaging and our copy for people to really move forward. It's a competitive world out there. There are so many different options for people to be choosing from. We want people to really feel like our solution sitting in front of them is something they really need. And it takes time to refine that messaging and figure out what are those little points that we need to hit on for our customers. But you need to start from somewhere, and you need to start putting out your product and figuring out how to position it and refining it and talking to people and having conversations and getting feedback. Because if you don't put anything out there and you just keep kind of fine-tuning behind the scenes, you're never going to learn and progress and improve. So you should be thinking about what are the things that I should be including within this service or this program, this course, that are going to solve the problem that people would really want, that are going to be really attractive to people. Now, there may be other things that you include in the program that people are not going to find so sexy. They're not going to it's not even going to be on their radar that they need that thing in order to solve their problem. For example, now this is just because I do websites. So in our program, we do have a module about buying the legal documents for your website. And we just quickly talk about like, hey, you need these 3 documents. Here are some places that you can go get them. And then we give you page templates to paste in that copy. Now, that is something that you need. Every website needs to have your legal documents. But that is not even on the radar of most of my clients. And that is not a message that I'm going to lead with. I don't think I even put that anywhere on my sales page. I don't think I talk about it in my emails or in my pitches. Now, I do sometimes have people ask me, hey, do you also cover the legal aspect? And I do let them know, hey, we talk about this, we give you some resources, we're not legal experts, blah, blah, blah. But it's a part of the program, but it's not the thing that I lead with, and it's just not something that's going to get people to sell, to buy and say, oh my gosh, this is a solution for me. So you need to be thinking through, even though you may have 20 things that you're including in the program, what are those 5 to 7 key things that actually are going to get people to say, oh, she has figured it out. This is the thing I need. So it takes time to think through that. And that's really what I'm saying you should be doing here as you're working on putting together your wait list and how you're going to position your product. So really be thinking about what's going to make my new service or my new course or program attractive. And this exercise of putting out a page on your website in advance and setting up a wait list is going to force you to have some of those thoughts and brainstorms for yourself. I would definitely say spend equal, if not more time on thinking about the selling and the marketing as you do on the building, especially since as you run your service or you run your program, you are going to adjust it. So I forget someone, I'm going to butcher this quote, but nothing withstands the first interaction with customers. So just assume that first iteration of your service or program, it's not going to be perfect. You can't possibly think of everything. And honestly, this is advice I've given to people too, because this was part of what I did when I first launched the first iteration of our website program. There were a lot of ideas that we had of things that we should include in our program, but the program was already so big that we decided, you know what, we're going to hold some of these things back, because I was working with my development and design team, and we decided we'll hold these things back. If people need them, we'll build them. We had already made it clear to the people, especially in our beta group, that we were here to address any needs they had. We were taking their feedback and we were reacting to it in real time, because we just couldn't possibly predict everything that people needed. And I didn't want to overwhelm people with too much. We already had a lot in the program, but to even put even more in there, especially things that maybe they didn't need. And then it's just like overloading them with stuff. So I think it's always better to come up with that MVP, right? That minimum viable product of what is going to help your customers, give them a great experience, help them achieve their goal, get through and solve their problem. But maybe there are some things that you want to do. Maybe you put them in like a parking lot category. And if someone in the program is like, hey, it'd be really great if I had a worksheet about this, or you had a lesson about this, then okay, turns out that something is something I need to put in the program, and you put it in there. But don't spend forever building behind the scenes without launching, because you're just never going to be predicting. And I think that iterative process of getting it in front of your customers and getting that feedback can be really helpful. And you can even ask your first customers, hey, what was the reason that made you buy? What was the thing that was most valuable to you in this whole program? And then those start becoming the things that you lead with and that you position the product as having, because you know that those were the decision points for your customers. And they could be things that they found in the program that was not even on your radar as something that was a benefit to them. So that's why it's really good to get started and get it in the hands of customers as soon as you're able. So this process of having a waitlist can work really well for new services as well as for new courses, new group programs, even a book. If you're launching it, you can have a waitlist for that too. So lots of different ways. It's really just like a pre-marketing, pre-selling type of opportunity. So let me talk through now. Hopefully I've convinced you to set up a waitlist for whatever new thing you are thinking about. And hey, if it turns out that you set up a waitlist and you are just doing it to test out, or it's something that you're not sure about but you're thinking you want to do, put up that waitlist. And then if it turns out you don't want to do it, it's fine. Don't do it. If you really feel bad about it, you can you can email those people that signed up and say, hey, I decided to not do this. But if you decide to pivot and do something else, you can let them know, hey, you can do this thing instead. But otherwise, I wouldn't really worry about it. A lot of people are probably going to forget that they signed up to your wait list. So it's okay. Use it for its accountability, but also don't feel too accountable to it. It's not like people paid for it. So here's just the simple ways to have a wait list. We need to think about, where can people sign up? So your email marketing platform is going to be the easiest solution here. So like ConvertKit, MailChimp, those kinds of platforms. So you can have an opt-in page, like a landing page built within that platform. Very simple. Title of your program, a little bit about it. If you want to have a graphic, you can. Spot for them to give their name and their email and say, sign up to be on the wait list, unsubscribe at any time, whatever. And have the landing page tag them that they signed up to the wait list. Send them a little confirmation that they're on the wait list. And if you want, hey, in the meantime, here are some great resources that you might find useful since you're interested in this program. If you have blogs on your own website or you have resources that you can share with them, that's great. Or even if you have some articles that you refer to for other customers that maybe are not on your website, but it's more just giving value, you can do that too. Whatever you feel is nurturing these people from the beginning, right? And that's what we want to be doing. We want to be nurturing these people that sign up on our wait list, because remember, these can be potential customers. So add these people to then your normal newsletter. So I'm hoping that you're emailing your list, I would say at a minimum once a month, ideally 2 times a month, or even better, once a week. Just sending them some kind of new snippet of information. Now that I'm putting out a podcast, I can repurpose my podcast into a weekly email. But if you are blogging, you can just send your list your latest blog, or write your email and just give some tips and get in touch and all that good stuff. You could segment this list and email them different content, but I'm not sure that that's really necessary, and that's just more work for you. So I would just treat these people as regular email subscribers after they opt in. And really what you're doing is you're keeping in touch with them, you're showing value, and you're getting them to buy into your approach and who you are, and you're really building that know, like, and trust factor. They're knowing you, they're liking you, they are trusting you, so that once you're ready to sell to them, they're going to be more interested in buying. And keep in mind, just because they signed up onto the waitlist does not mean that they're a yes yet. So I have many people on my waitlist for my website program that do not buy. So I have learned to kind of understand what is the conversion rate off of the waitlist that I have and the people that will buy, but it is single digits. It is not double digits. So just keep that in mind. It depends on what the product is and all of that, of course. But we need to be doing some work. It's not over once they sign up onto the waitlist. All right, so next up, you have an opt-in form or page that you created with your email platform. So you have that set up. Now you need to put that on your website. So I would embed that opt-in onto your website in a few spots. And that can be a button to the landing page that you built in ConvertKit, or you can have the form actually embedded, or you can have it be a pop-up or whatever you want. I would recommend having your program, your new program or service on your homepage. So have a section where you're talking about the new service, link to a page that has more details. Or if you're really not even ready for that yet, you don't have any more details aside from the name of the service or program and a little blurb about it, then the button on that section of your homepage can just open the waitlist opt-in page and people can opt in, and that's fine. But once you get a little bit further, I would recommend having a page on your website that's separate and it goes into more detail about the program. It doesn't have to be the full sales page of it yet. You could keep it simple or it could be very detailed, but just think about what should you include that would make people interested in giving their email. Because remember, people are not just going to give their email and opt into things freely. They need to be convinced a little bit. So what are the things in your program that are going to make it interesting that people are like, hey, it's worth the wait. It's worth getting my name on this list here because I want to know more about it when the doors open or when it becomes available. So you might be thinking about, okay, well, what is the program? Is it a self-paced course? Is it a group program? Is it a service? Make sure you're clear about that. Talking about what the problem is. What are the benefits or the problem that you solve? What are the benefits of your program? Maybe if you have it, preview of what's inside, just listing out some of the topics that are going to be covered. You could also have testimonials on the page, and they could be testimonials from general clients. It doesn't have to be specific to your program, but it's really just speaking to the quality of work that you do and the problems that you've helped people solve in the past, so that social proof can be helpful on a page like that as well. And then once you are ready to launch, you can do a few different things with this group of emails that you have from whoever opted in. So you can do a kind of like a launch email sequence. So if it's a full-blown launch event, you may offer a webinar and do some education and then sell off of that webinar and then have people come to a more detailed sales page and check out and do the whole thing. And personally, I would just email everyone on your email list, even people that didn't sign up for the wait list, depending on, how big your list is too. It might all be one and the same, but I would sell to everyone. I think that's fine. Or if this is more about a service and it's not really something that is like having a doors open, doors closed type of thing, you could just have a series of emails leading up to when you are going to be officially launching this and talking about the objections that people might have. So kind of having topics of your emails that are talking about what kinds of things might stand in people's way, either from moving forward to pursue solving whatever problem it is they have, or specifically going with your program and going with a program like yours or a service like yours. You can also be talking about success stories from prior clients and customers. If you want to address some frequently asked questions, you could have an email about that. You can, of course, start off with an email that is about what's included and inviting people to sign up through that series of emails. So if doors are always open, you would just kind of end that sequence, and maybe you have a special promotion for a limited time, and then you go back into your typical emails that you're sending, like I said, like on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. And maybe you run a promotion again every few months, but you take down the wait list, and now people can just sign up for that service or program whenever they'd like. But if you do have a very specific open, doors close, then you may have them open for 7 days or something, and then you close them, and then you have the wait list back up again after that. So especially too, maybe you are wanting to do a beta group and have people come through your program. And so you want to just say, okay, doors are open for this little special thing. I have a special price for it right now. Get a couple people in there, see how it goes, put your wait list back up. And then once you feel like, okay, I've run this, feels good, now I can sell it more, and then you can take down the wait list after that. Now, one question that sometimes comes up is how far in advance should I have a wait list? This is really up to you. It could be 6 months, could be 3 months. If you're keeping in touch with people on the wait list, then, it's all good. But if you open up a wait list 6 months in advance and then you never email people throughout that entire period until you're actually opening doors to whatever it was they signed up for, I maybe wouldn't do that because, like I said, they probably forgot that they even signed up onto your wait list. They have never heard from you since then. They really don't know who you are because, again, you never shared anything more with them. And you're just, I mean, worst case scenario, those people are going to unsubscribe. Best case scenario, they'll stay on your email list and not buy. And hopefully, maybe over time, you can nurture them and they might be interested. But just going from like 0 to 100 isn't a good idea. But it's okay if you have a more lead time that you need to give yourself before you can open up selling that product. That's okay. And you really want to have it on your website now, do that. But then do something to kind of keep in touch with those people in between. But I will say, I think it's better to get that idea out there, get some people on the wait list. You could even tap into these people who have signed up onto the wait list. You can be asking for their feedback. You could do a focus group. Remember that these are real people who signed up to be on your wait list. So even if it's just 10 people, nurture them and see if some of them can become the first customers of this new product or service, and really give them a lot of attention. Learn from them so that you can make your marketing and your product or service just that much better for the next set of customers, and just keep iterating. So speaking of waitlists, ours is open now as well for the Wellness Pro website system, our website program that I was talking about a little bit. And our program, it's really the perfect way to get a waitlist set up for anything new that you're launching. Maybe you have services as well and you want to launch some new things. So you can come into our program. We'll help you get your website up and going, get your branding up, help you with your copy, and get my support on any of these details about making this work for you and how to really present it on your website in a way that's going to make sense to people and really serve you as you continue to create this new product and launch this new thing. So you can go to our waitlist page by going to wellnessprowebsite.com and get on our waitlist and see all of it in action. So I hope that this inspired you. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Come to Instagram, send me a message at Whitney Bateson and ask me your questions there. Or let me know how this episode helped you or hopefully got you moving forward with whatever new idea you have been wanting to launch, and hopefully made it a little bit easier to see a path forward so you can get that momentum going, start marketing it a little bit. And I forgot to say and didn't really mention, after you have the wait list up and you have the page up and you have some plans in place for nurturing these people, start marketing it, testing the waters a little bit. Maybe you want to be posting on social media. Maybe you want to be sharing about it in Facebook groups. When you're doing any talks or events, maybe you're going to be talking about that product and that it's going to be coming and sharing that waitlist link with people to that page. So definitely in those months leading up to when you're actually going to be going live and launching, make sure that you are talking it up here and there so that you are getting people and attracting people to your waitlist as you're going along. All right, that is it for today. I will see you next week. Thanks for listening.